He is Jalen Rose. I'm Jalen Jacoby. We are Jalen Jacoby. What is it that we do?
We give the people what they want.
We have a Game 7 tonight between the Celtics and the Raptors. We have the Lakers taking a commanding lead over the Rockets, but we start with a real, actual, official regular season NFL game last night between the Chiefs and the Texans. And the Chiefs looked great. What impressed you the most about the Chiefs last night?
That they have that guy right there, first and foremost. Where my homies? First and foremost. Second, that he has weapons all over the field. Kelsey, Watkins, the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill, and your guy Clyde, the rookie in the backfield. They're explosive. But let's go to the sideline. Big Red gets his love in Andy Reid. All I know is this. Very soon, Eric B need to be getting paid in full by an NFL team. Top dollar to be their head coach. Doing a terrific job nurturing that offense for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Absolutely. And you know that I've been talking about Clyde Edwards-Helaire ever since last college football season. And to see him land with the last pick in the first round to the Kansas City Chiefs, we all knew what was going to happen. We all knew it, and it came to life. 138 yards, 5.5 yards a carry, a touchdown. He just looked electric. We had high expectations for him, especially on this program, and he exceeded even those. The line did a great job opening up holes for him as well. What do you think he brings to this offense?
So no shade to my brother LaShawn McCoy, but before they picked up Fournette, I was like, for Tampa, their run game could be an issue. I was saying the same thing last year with the Kansas City Chiefs. And so all of a sudden, you get this guy after you win the Super Bowl and after he wins the championship in college. Talk about a marriage made in heaven and an offense that's going to get him the carries, get him the touches. They're going to be leading in games. His fantasy numbers are going to be crazy this season.
Well, we all wanted to see what the Texans offense would look like without DeAndre Hopkins, and it didn't look good. However, I'm looking at the offensive line and their lack of ability to protect Deshaun Watson more than I am the lack of DeAndre Hopkins. What did you see from the Texans offense poor performance last night?
I agree. And the one thing about not having a really effective offensive line, not only can you not stand upright with your quarterback and throw the football, you can't consistently run it either. And when you don't have that level of balance, and you mentioned how they struggled offensively, that is something that they're going to have to improve on in protecting Deshaun Watson. It seems like we've been talking about this for years as it relates to that team.
Yep, and we should discuss the receiving core, because when you look at their numbers from yesterday, outside of Fuller, they really didn't do much. I mean, Cobb, Cooks, Carter, not that much. Between all three of those players, 5 receptions. Jalen, is this going to be a problem for them moving forward?
Absolutely. I'm trying to tell anybody that will listen. You don't give up the top wide receiver in the game and help your quarterback in your offense. It just does not work that way. And so, yes, these are productive NFL receivers, and they're going to have their moments, and shout to Will Fuller, he played well. But you don't replace Deshaun. You don't replace Hopkins and his productivity. Watch how he and Kyler Murray put on the show this year.
They absolutely will. And one thing I want to say about those graphic and that stat is a lot of those came when Kansas City had a commanding lead and went to a prevent defense. Like, that is a misleading. Like, they really did not play well from the receiver position outside of Will Fuller. Moving on to another game last night, the Los Angeles Lakers put together a great performance, led basically wire to wire in this one over the Rockets. LeBron played well, AD played well. They also got other contributions from Caruso and Rondo. Jalen, is this team poised to go to the Western Conference Finals?
Now the Lakers are firing on all cylinders and have recovered from the loss of Avery Bradley, have settled into the bubble, and figured out that they need to play different versions of their roster in order to advance in different playoff rounds. This is what I wanted to see. I've been calling to do different matchups, like, okay, more Kuzma, more Morris. Use LeBron up front as one of your bigger guys. Play AD at the 5. It's okay, because you're going against a Houston Rockets team that has embraced micro ball. And you still have to prove to me that when you have a feast or famine home run or strikeout style like the Houston Rockets, if that can consistently win in the playoffs. This is something that we've talked about for a very long time, Jacoby. That's why when they lose, it's ugly. And look no further than their best player, James Harden.
Yep.
We know that he's one of the top 5 players in the game, a consistent MVP candidate. But when you play that style, when they lose, that's when it looks ugly. The multiple turnovers against the Golden State Warriors, not showing up against the San Antonio Spurs, missing 27 threes against the Warriors without KD. That's what ends up happening. That's why I felt, especially once they lost House, that they weren't going to win another game. So the better team is taking care of business, and that's the championship contending Los Angeles Lakers.
It absolutely is. And as you see in these clips, they ran 2 people at Harden a lot in this game, as they had done sort of towards the end of games previously in this series, and it really worked well. He was 2 for 11 from the field. He did go to the free throw line 20 times, but still, it was another disappointing performance from Harden in the playoffs. But one thing that's been happening the last few games, Jalen, playoff Rondo is absolutely here. Now, not only is he a great floor general, every time he's got the ball in one hand, he's pointing to people, do stuff with the other hand, but they were backing off him and giving him shots. He was taking them and knocking them down. He had 2 threes. At one point, they just backed off and gave him a wide open lane to the layup, and he just came in and took it. Rondo is really contributing for them, because if you remember during the regular season, when LeBron James was on the bench, they really struggled to create offense. And now they have Rondo, someone who they can plug in during those minutes when LeBron sits and maintain a high level of offense. I think Rondo is going to be that third person for the Lakers that contributes in a way that we've always been waiting for Kyle Kuzma to do, or Danny Green to do, or KCP to do. That is actually going to be Rondo moving forward. Do you have them finishing this series on Saturday?
I do. I don't anticipate the Houston Rockets winning another series, and I'm going to acknowledge this again. I'm really disappointed in Daniel House Jr. You let down the league. You let down your teammates. Your brothers have come so far. They've gotten into the playoffs. And yes, the Los Angeles Lakers are the better team, and we're going to win this series anyway. But young fella, you got to make good decisions and be out on the floor instead of being in your hotel room watching your brothers get the brakes beat off of them by the Los Angeles Lakers.
I think there's no reason that Daniel House Jr. shouldn't be able to play. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to play. Yes, he broke protocol, but if he's negative for COVID, let the man play. But we move on. We both sort of conceded that it is going to be a Lakers-Clippers Western Conference final. We know on Monday we're going to start previewing it, so why not start previewing it right now? It seems like they have been on a collision course all season long. So, Jalen, Clippers and Lakers, what do you think of this matchup?
I like that we're just the most unprofessional national show in the industry, and we're going to preview a series before another one ends. That's why I love doing this for the last decade of my life. What I can't wait to see is the star power. I know LeBron and Kawhi are both going for finals MVP for their third team. So now, are we going to get all NBA AD? Are we going to get all NBA Paul George? Those guys are going to be the key. And then the depth and the scoring of the Clippers, Lou Will and Harrell versus the Lakers and Kyle Kuzma, Rondo, and Morris. It's going to be great theater. Both sides have terrific coaching staffs. Both have assistants that are in line for new jobs. This is going to be the theater and the stage that we anticipated. I just wish it was the NBA Finals. Hopefully one day the league decides to reseed the Final Four at least, so these two teams on a season like this could actually be facing each other in the finals.
Yes, I mean, this is such a great series. You honestly don't know how to win, but who's going to win. I have the Lakers winning because I just don't see anybody in a Clipper uniform that can match up with AD. Now, obviously, AD is one of the top 5 players in the league. It's hard to match up with him, but you've got Harrell, you've got Morris, Zubac. You're going to put Kawhi on him. Like, I don't know what they're going to do to match up against AD. I know you had the Lakers in this series, so if Doc Rivers called your phone and said, what do we do with AD, what would be your advice for him?
Well, for AD, you want to keep him on the perimeter. That's what you got to do. And you got to contest his mid-range shots, hope he's not making his threes, and then you got to make him work on the other end. You got to put him in pick and roll action, get him away from the basket. Against the Clippers, the Lakers will play a lot more big lineups. Imagine the fact that we got Lakers, Clippers, crosstown, playing in the conference finals, and each squad has a Morris twin. And both of those guys are acknowledged to be physical presences for their team. I just want to see if they find a way to get in each other's way and throw some elbows versus one another.
If I'm Doc Rivers, I'm just telling Morris to go out there and give AD an elbow in the first half of the first game. That's the only way that they can stop him. So we can stop talking about this hypothetical series that isn't even serious yet and focus on tonight's Game 7, the two best words in sports between the Celtics and the Raptors. Jalen, what is the key to this matchup?
So the thing I've liked about the Toronto Raptors all year is they are what you can embody, the embodiment of a team. It's like when one guy coughed, the other person covered his face. That's how they play defense, smothering, like dead serious. I appreciate that about this team. And Kyle Lowry willed them to victory in that previous game. But this should be about star power. And Jason Tatum is taking that leap to all NBA level. Jaylen Brown is a terrific two-way player. Kemba Walker struggled in the last game, and Marcus Smart been balling all series. I think the Celtics will get it done, and I just wanted to acknowledge the Raptors for having a terrific season. Pascal Siakam wasn't the same player in the postseason that he was in the regular season, but he'll continue to improve as a young player.
I also have the Celtics tonight, but we also have a full slate of NFL games this Sunday. We'll get you ready for that right after this. Stay tuned. You're watching. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. It is time for the segment where Jalen decides what we discuss. It is Keep It Moving. If you want to discuss the game that I propose, say hit the brakes. If not, me and Method Man, keep it moving. Jalen, we start with Cam's debut in a Patriot uniform. Keep it moving or hit the brakes?
Hit the brakes.
Jalen, what are your expectations for Cam Newton this season with the Patriots?
Extremely high, lead them to the playoffs, proving doubters wrong, getting a huge contract at the end of this year. Y'all must have forgot this is a former MVP who just had to get healthy. Cam was about to get busy this year. And shout to the Miami Dolphins and their head coach, Brian Flores. I love the PSA they did pregame last night. It was really well thought out, well written, and well executed.
Absolutely. I felt the same way about that video. It was really well done. Moving on to the division that your Lions are in, the Packers and the Vikings. Keep moving or hit the brakes?
The Vikings better get Dalvin Cook paid and Aaron Rodgers going off this year. Keep it moving.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
We have a matchup between the Chargers and Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Keep it moving or hit the brakes?
I want to see A.J. Green have a bounce-back year. And the Chargers, man, we got to see. They had a chance to get Cam. Keep it moving.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
The MVP returns to the field, this time against the Browns. Ravens-Browns, keep it moving or hit the brakes?
Hit the brakes.
Now, Jalen, we all know what Lamar Jackson is and how great he is in the field. I want to ask you about Baker Mayfield and the Browns. Do you think they can bounce back from the debacle that was last season for them?
Well, you started with Baker, and to be honest with you, I'm not sold on him being a top 15 quarterback. I do anticipate Odell Beckham having a bounce-back year. I'm a huge Landry fan, and they have a lot of talent on their offense. But the Ravens, they are their deal, okay? And Lamar makes them play four-down football, which changes the dynamic of how you approach an NFL team normally. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Browns. I'll give you a prediction. After this season, you know who will be taking snaps under center in Cleveland? Cam Newton. How about that?
Interesting, Jalen. Interesting. Let's talk about that a little bit more. So you have Baker Mayfield and the Browns being so bad this year that they make a change at quarterback, and that change is for Cam Newton, who is on a one-year deal with the Patriots. You're going to predict that right now before the season even started.
Yes, indeed. Pieces in one big chess game. Yeah.
Interesting. Remember where you heard it first, Jalen and Jacoby. Moving on to the Bears against the Lions. Keep it moving or hit the break. Jalen, I want you and all the Lions fans to really enjoy this moment because right now you are in first place in your division. Right now the Lions are undefeated and they're in first place in their division. First place in the division for the Lions. But this season, do you know what this season should be about? This is what this season should be about. Tua in a Lions jersey. But nope, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get Tua in a Lions jersey. Do you know what you are going to get? You're going to get Oduka, who you drafted after Darius Slay left. This franchise is so broken, it cannot be fixed. Right now is the only time the Lions will be anywhere near the top of the division. So enjoy it, Lions fans, before it all falls apart against the Bears. Sunday at 1 p.m.
Our offense going to be moving up and down the field against that physical D. Watch.
Up and down the field? Up and down. Wait, I'm sorry. The offense is going to be moving up and down the field against the Bears. Okay. Nah. We'll revisit that on Monday. We'll revisit that on Monday.
Eddie Jackson. All right, now you can't be doing no Motown dances now when you out there making plays. You're one of my favorite D-backs. Not this week. All right, Khalil Mack. We need you to take it light on us now.
We will see. We have the Seahawks facing off against the Falcons. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Russell Wilson is that deal. So is Julio Jones. Keep it moving.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
DeAndre Hopkins makes his debut for the Cardinals against the 49ers. Jalen, what are your expectations for this Cardinals offense that a lot of people have set very high?
See, Cliff Kingsbury did a really good job last year developing Kyler Murray to the point where he played an entire season under the radar, continued to improve, and stayed healthy. And in the offseason, they brought back Larry Fitzgerald and then brought over DeAndre Hopkins. I'm anticipating that growth to be so pronounced that people are going to be so enthusiastic to watch how this young man is going to continue to grow under center and continue to show how guys that are less than 6'5" and prototypical height are still able to play that position. Russell Wilson is the guy, based on his metrics, is the one that broke down those barriers for modern day quarterbacks in a lot of ways.
I'm just curious if the Cardinals can contain the run offense of the 49ers, because the 49ers love to run the ball, and I just want to see if the Cardinals can do anything to stop that, because there's so many people talking about Kingsbury and Murray and Hopkins, and they deserve all the attention they're getting, but something tells me that they're going to get run all over on the other side of the ball this Sunday in the late game in the Bay. Moving on, Jalen, we have it. It is here. Two divisional rivals facing off, and one with the brand new quarterback named Tom Brady. Jalen, we have Drew Brees and the Saints going up against Tom Brady and all those brand new weapons for the Buccaneers. What do you expect to happen on this one?
All I know is this. I don't care what level of media or football fan you are. If I hear you say Tampa Bay, T-O-M-P-A, Bay, I am judging you. I can't even lie. I'm judging you. And you know that's my guy. Now, with that being said, once you add Leonard Fournette to go with Ronald Jones, now they eliminated their weaknesses. And Tom Brady is going to be just dropping back 3-step, 5-step, getting the ball out of his hands, throwing it in the numbers, outside of the numbers. He going to put on the show. But so are the Saints. And Alvin Kamara, he's about to go off this year. I can't wait to watch this game. Michael Thomas can't guard Mike. Been watching that dude do work since Ohio State. So these two teams, a lot of people anticipate have what it takes to make it to the NFC Championship.
We will see. I cannot wait to see the matchup between Tom Brady and Drew Brees. I think they're each going to score about 35 points. Jalen, Dak Prescott, the quarterback of the Cowboys, has been in the news. We'll tell you why and what we think right after this. Stay tuned. You're watching Jalen Jacoby. Saturday night at 8 p.m., we have the Lakers and the Rockets facing off in Game 5. And before that at 7 o'clock, NBA Countdown with Jalen Rose, Maria, and the crew. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, on Sunday night, the Cowboys will face the Rams, and Dak Prescott revealed that after the death of his older brother, he faced some anxiety and depression issues for which he sought professional help. What do you think about Dak Prescott's revelation?
These are extreme times we're dealing with in our climate, Jacoby. Millions of people losing their jobs, being laid off and being furloughed with quarantine, coronavirus, uh, the murdering and lynchings and killings of black men and women by law enforcement, and the deaths of so many people, whether it's over 180,000 due to COVID-19 or circumstances that caused Dak Prescott's brother to commit suicide. And as somebody that recently lost his brother, I'm glad that he shared that, and he's garnering the strength that he's going to need to be productive on and off the football field.
Jalen, that is very well put. And as we see NFL action return to the field, seems like every year there's always a lot of focus on the national anthem and what the players are going to do during it. Last night, we saw a show of unity between the Chiefs and the Texans. There was a smattering of boos during it. What do you think you will see for the anthem, and what did you think of their display last night?
I'm going to make this quick. This ain't about civil rights and humanity. The players got reinforced that this is a business deal. Y'all there to do y'all jobs. The people that are there to watch y'all play don't necessarily care about our activism, don't care about our civil rights, and don't care about our humanity. So remember that the next time you ask us to sign an autograph.